Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to another edition of Airy Sky Read video blog. So I'm going to do a short video today. Hopefully, I have things to do. So one of my early birthday presents I got from Chloe was this game. And I gotta say, it's Story of Seasons. It's the remake of the PS1 version. And I gotta tell you, I really do like it. Really love it, So I should compare it with the Harvest Moon, Friends of Mineral Town, and the other ones. But anyways, enough about that. Okay. I wanted to say thank you for tuning in with me today. So I got a couple updates for you all. Okay. I have not been on videos for a while due to the fact that I have not been wanting to do videos. I've been wanting to game and focus my attention on my game. And so, anyways. Other than that, the unemployment benefits has expired. Now, the Congress has dug in. All right. Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi has dug in. All right. They've dug in completely on this situation. Now, the Republican side, Mark Meadows and Stephen Mnuchin has dug in, all right? Now, they're doing the Republican agenda. $1 trillion, done. The Democrats want more than $1 trillion. And so, the Democrats want $3 trillion. They're not budging when it comes to their payments. They know what they want. However, rumors are speculating right now the president's going to do an invoking an executive order by executive authority, which I've talked to my people that I have connections on in Congress and the Senate, and I want to say that they are very much split. All right. You got factions within factions right now. The Republican Party's fractured. You got people that won't even vote on a $1 trillion bill, let alone a $3 trillion bill. You see where I'm going with this? So the Republicans saying that the truth of the matter is the American people literally need to get off their ass and go to work. Unfortunately, they don't realize that there's no jobs, all right? There is literally no jobs. The job market is petering out, okay? So unemployment is stalled. He can't really do much to unemployment, but he wants tax credits for, I would think, for the wealthy and the middle class. The poor won't benefit from it anyway, so fuck them. Fortunately, it's got to be either the middle and the working class. That's actually from my research. I've done some research from time to time that states those are the classes more likely to vote Republican. Fortunately, the Republican Party platform fractured, which I've done a lot of research. My father and I have talked about that. The point is this isn't a political chat about politics, all right? I know I'm not going to go into it. I refuse to talk politics. But when it comes to the sake of this country, I will talk in my own opinion. Freedom of choice. Now, the problem is the American people are suffering, okay? I've said this a few days ago in my last video. I don't really give two craps about who's going to win the presidency. I don't care. I don't really care. What I care for is the American people. And right now, you got three parties bickering like bullies in the playground, and not one of them are doing a damn good use. I mean, look, you got the president who's not involved in the negotiation, but he's got his chief of staff and his Treasury Secretary. the Democrats are offering to stay, basically in office and to recall the people to vote if it comes out. Now, Nancy Pelosi there was a little grain of hope here, okay? A grain of hope. Remember, every day it gets no news, it gets to the deadline, gives my increasing to less likely a stimulus check, which people say, oh, we're going to get a stimulus check. You're wrong. Really? It's already August 4th, okay? If it gets to the 7th with no debates or deals, who are they going to do it? I mean, look, let me just put it to you this way, okay? For the rights of the American people, okay? The Senate is not going to basically close their deal to go out. I mean, literally, you don't even see Mitch McConnell talking much right now. Good old Mitch is out and about lollygagging, whereas he's got two cronies of the White House doing his bids. He knows he doesn't have the votes. And even so, the president, again, basically, you said unilaterally, as I call it, he's going to turn around and basically do a payroll tax cut, eviction moratorium. He can't do an eviction moratorium. I mean, literally, my apartment management company's already looked at the legalities of using an eviction moratorium to keep freeloaders in an apartment when they can't pay rent. Well, there's two sides of the story here, okay? Now, I agree with the manager to a point. I'm not a bigot, by the way. I'll tell you how bigotry she is, all right? She turns around, right? And I want to tell you guys a story. This is how she's a Republican, right? She's a Republican. She doesn't give two shits about the fucking American people. So this morning, to make a short story sweet, to continue with my story, she sends an email out. Probably a good 2,000, 3,000 email bomb, okay? You know what the email bomb is, right? It's a GoFundMe, special group. My husband's dying. He needs a heart transplant. Well, she said he was getting a heart transplant. Now he had a heart transplant. Now he needs a heart transplant. He's in Sanford, California, struggling with his life. Really, that's interesting to know. He's in Sanford, California. Yet, she owns a farm. She's got more cattle than anyone. I mean, literally, if you're going to donate money, I said, if someone's going to donate money, you might as well give something interesting, right? She talks about her freezer the size of my apartment. It's a walk-in freezer, Sub-Zero, that keeps beef colder longer, and one of those she has walk-in in her shop. Really, I've never seen a walk-in freezer in the back of a shop. Okay, I've heard some whoppers in my time. Oh, I'm Native American. I get tribal money. Oh, I was an oil baroness. I have all these oil paintings. I'm wealthy. If you're a wealthy son of a bitch, then why are you asking for money, you fucking freeloading Republicans? That's how I see it. The manager comes out and sends me an email asking for a donation because she doesn't want to part with her wealth. I'm sorry, but I wouldn't give in. If you're dying on your last breath and you got money to pay the bill, then maybe you should fucking do something else. So there you have it, okay? That's why I don't like Republicans. Republicans are greedy, selfish son of a bitches for the most part. I mean, look around. Look at it. The manager basically is begging me and Chloe to pay for heart with a heart transplant. Tax deductible. Yeah, but she knows we're fucking disabled, so it's a fucking scam, too. Back to the story at hand. Republicans aren't going to budge, all right? The unemployment is, I just want you guys to think for a second about Republicans and how they act, all right? Democrats, they've been basically got their heels dug in and they're not budging. They said this is unaccountable. President, of course, is dug in saying he's going to do an executive order. All right, let's just break down the executive order. My legal people that I've talked to, lawyers I know, everything else, they say it's highly unlikely because even if he deferred the tax credits, right? Trump wants a permanent payroll tax cut for the entire businesses. He wants to just, for what I'm saying, One thing he claims he wants to save Social Security, but it's going in the opposite direction. I mean, I've gotten a lot of people from the Republican side saying they're distancing himself from Trump on the grounds of what he's doing, and I'm not going to basically do tick for tat of what he's done wrong, what he's done right, all right? I'm here to say the American people are fucking suffering, and if he can only offer a tax credit, which he fucking wants, I told everyone this. Even Gail and I were on the phone the other day, and Gail and I both agreed that the president's a yo-yo. He'll back away from the tax credit. Now I'm going to do an executive order for tax credit. Doesn't help the fucking poorest of the poorest, does it? People need to realize the poor are going to be fucking shafted. The poor are going to be the ones burdened, all right? And I sit here today to tell you outright that I'm appalled. I am fucking appalled, all right? I'm not going to do politics. I won't. My main thing is that I'm tired of seeing the American people get hurt. Our governor can re-up the executive order anytime he needs to for moratoriums. That's fine. Hey, Cam. The American people are suffering. How are you, Cam? It's been a few days. American people are suffering, and everyone here needs to listen carefully. Stockpile while you can. Do not do anything else. Food, shelter. We're in for a bumpy ride. Truly a bumpy ride. The American people are suffering. The American people are hurting. And yet, all he's doing is barking, I'm going to do an executive order. Yeah, in my opinion, from everything I've looked at and talking to the legal experts of both parties, I have inside connections. One of my friends has connections. He said the president doesn't have the authority to stick in an eviction moratorium. He can't. He does not have anyone. Well, I'm glad to see you're doing okay, Cam. I mean, literally, the legal ramifications is the president doesn't have the authority to do diddly squat, okay? Congress is checks and balances. Congress controls everything. He wants to say Congress ain't doing it, and then look at his own party. They're distancing himself. One of my connections that says he has no authority is a Republican congressperson. Telling you. Over the years, I've made quite an impression on a few people. I'm glad you're okay, Cam. Here the weather's been miserable and humid. Humidity is what's killing us in this place. I got up early. I should be sleeping at night, but so anyways, back to my story. Sorry, I don't mean to get distracted. I do have a rabbit, and he's just so adorable. So, the American people are suffering. All I see coming out of everyone's mouth, I'm sorry to say, is words. All right. Until there's a bill on the desk, it's all words. The president's going to be stopped. Any way you look at it when it comes to Republicans and Democrats keep checks and balances. I decided to tell you a story also. Not that we're into politics, okay? I know Cam's going to sit there and say, whoa, and Pee-wee's watching, same thing. I decided to register for this county, so I put in a change of registration. So, I just want to share with you, I'm thinking about voting this year, all right? Plain and simple. I just want to make my vote count, all right? I'm tired of the politics being weaponized. I'm tired of people's fates being weaponized. I love all of you. Now, you guys are wondering. I know we talked about it. Everything is stalled, okay? Now, Nancy Pelosi did say that she might, mind you, get something passed next week from the sources and reputable sources I've gone through. That's it. Now, I got a couple videos out there that I want to talk about that's really important. And that is, again, by reputable sources from Congress stated the president can't use any executive orders or actions to protect American American people under eviction moratoriums. And by the way, I had to talk to my family about this. Dinky and Corey, Dinky's Tara. We had a lovely lunch and beer and stuff. And we sat and we had, a nice little heart to heart about eviction moratoriums. And we talked about the eviction moratoriums and the jobs going away, the dodo bird. And I said, a lot of them aren't paying their fucking rent. Well, let me tell you another story, okay? Now, there's family members that are Republican in my family. Love them dearly. But I think some Republicans are greedy son of a bitches, I'm sorry to say. And I'm kind of disgusted with being, a disabled Republican due to the fact that the manager's husband is dying and, again, wants fucking money. Literally wants fucking money to pay donations, email bombed everyone. Yet she claims she has, she is a Native American, a white albino Cherokee, right? She claims she's got millions of dollars in artwork, right? She claims she was once an oil baroness that was stolen from, right? You see, if it's fucking true, she just doesn't want to part with any of her fucking money. She wants fucking taxpayers and people like us, like Chloe. Chloe fueled it. Well, I'm happy for you, Cam. I will tell you, I picked up some really good marbled beef today. My advocate stopped by. We talked for a few minutes. She told me she'd send me a birthday email, She'd let my other advocate know. And we still got to do pizza. But we had the most kindest chat today, She said, yeah, the advocate one called, about the whole thing with Chloe and Chloe's thing. And Chloe's refusing to get mental help, And with the pandemic, Chloe can't even leave to get mental health. I think they're trying to make her crack under pressure or something. Sheriff, You all heard the story. I told Gail this last night, but I'll reiterate that too later in the video. Well, you guys are talking about stimulus checks, okay? I've talked to my Democratic and Republican counterparts that work both sides. I have connections, and and I don't talk about my affiliations with them because I'm ashamed. Same because I like to get some other. There's other news sources I go through that Gail has given me that's been 100% accurate. Okay, now supposedly people are sitting there saying that Donald Trump, a lot of clickbait out there, is going to give $2,000 a month or $2,400 a month per person. That would be fine and dandy. Unfortunately, the problem is where's he going to get the money? Literally. Article 1, Section 21 of the Constitution, if I read correctly, states the Congress has the powers to control the purse string. That's the paraphrase version. As my teacher said last night, the paraphrase version. I love him. He's a great guy. He's just cool. He's married and has some family, but he makes everything worthwhile. And I can't believe Chloe actually set end with the session. Now, second, stimulus checks. People are saying, he should just get off his ass and write the executive order. He can't. That's the thing. It's all fucking talk. I'm sorry to say. It'd be like telling my cousin Dinky, you have to hold out a little longer for more unemployment benefits because the president will sign an executive order. I mean, Dinky said it herself when she was out here that they could recall her back to work. Word could. Fortunately, with this virus spreading. And the president, I'm not going to fault him on his statement the other day that everyone's saying that he doesn't care but himself. The thing is everyone's painting it that he cares for re-election, but he doesn't care about the pandemic. And a lot of people are saying he won't own up to the pandemic. Well, it's not his to own. China made it. And other things, who made it. We won't go into details. This ain't a political channel. But what can he do? Well, remember I talked about several weeks ago that in his Batman utility belt, and that's what I called the Treasury the Secretary of the Treasury and the Federal Chair Reserve. Okay. Now, I read a good article in multiple newspapers, okay, that was really good. The Federal Reserve said the interest rates for all banks around the country and are good. People are buying houses like crazy. People are selling houses because they know they can't afford them. This is a boom market right now, or a booming market. Well, I'm honored, Cam. So, again, all these clickbait people, I went through the comments this morning, Moderator Pee-wee sent me some videos, and a lot of these, as Cam said, greedy moochers want the president to sign an executive order. The only thing the Treasury Secretary could do, which is highly unlikely, as my Republican friends have said in Congress and the Senate, they cannot just open up a new monetary system during the pandemic. Now, I want to tell you a couple other things, okay? There's a lot of people out there, a lot of doctors, a lot of nurses. Talked to a couple the other day by email. They wanted to get a survey on something, and so I asked questions, they had a direct email, and I emailed. I got the director, and during a pandemic, President Trump wants to take away the Affordable Cares Act right now. Bob Ferguson, the Attorney General in the United States of Washington State, sorry, not the United States, is challenging the Trump administration during this pandemic to cover transgender-related surgeries, transgender-related therapies, transgender-related healthcare. It might be all good and dandy, but that's the worst thing we can do right now in a pandemic. I mean, literally. I mean, it's hard enough to see a doctor, and you have to be on camera for the doctor, and they ask you so many damn questions. I went through my primary care in Mosey Hole. She was really good. They billed me $52 for that appointment. I cut a check and said, "Here you go." My doctor is a Democratic Filipino with a good heart. I told her I trust her more than I said. You're one of 4 doctors I trust in the world. She's like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, 4. That's it." When I explained my situation to her, she said that there's a system she can access because she's my primary care. She can access it, but for example, because I told her verbally to access it through video, she accessed it. She says, "Otherwise, I don't have access to your records from the hospital." But she did go through the notes anyways and asked me to get a release info. She wants to accumulate it anyways. And she did also ask me about my drinking habit. I said, "Oh, I binge drink, but right now I'm not." So, but anyways, back to the thing. The utility tool belt that they could do for the Treasury would be to do like a Direct Express type card, a NetSpin type card, a Visa or MasterCard prepaid. They can load money on it monthly without raising the deficit. Unfortunately, the country has not done that yet. So, now we got all these people clickbait saying $2,000 a month, 2,400 a month, $5,000 a month, 10 grand a month, etc. It's not going to happen unless the president is really serious and he tells Stephen Mnuchin to do it after everyone goes home for recess. Now, talking about the recess, okay, we only have 3 business days. They can't hammer out anything in debate. The Senate's already said they're going home. Mitch McConnell knows his bill's dead. They proposed it. Now he's having 2 people, White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin debating and giving him the reports. However, Mitch McConnell did state in a report that whatever bill is agreed upon, he would try to pass it in the Senate. It's up to the president to sign. Unfortunately, that's as far as he went. So if it ended up being $4 trillion, right now, the American people said, if you don't get something done, Mitch, you're out, I'm in limbo with stimulus. I just enjoy you talking about greedy moochers and other things. Yeah, well, that's the thing, Cam. I mean, the honest thing is that the American people are suffering. Hi, Boon Boon. I just love that little rabbit. Well, yeah, I mean, but everyone asked Elon Musk recently about the self-driving cars. No answer. Yeah, people asked Google about it. No answer. Fortunately, right now, I mean, I have fast internet if I'm on fiber optics, so unless they have something faster come out, I'm quite content with what I have. So, I mean, literally, so, but yeah, there's a lot of people out there right now basically making these videos. And again, the reason I haven't done one in 3 days is because there's nothing to report. I told you. Republicans are going to go home. American people are going to be pissed off. They're going to go to the election, vote out the Republicans. That's how I see it. Me and my father-in-law said the same thing. If they actually wanted to pass something, they would have passed it 2 months ago and kept unemployment going. Instead, they offered $200, which, by the way, is a joke. Looking at people's cost of living, I can say that it's clearly a joke. It might be enough to pay my cousin's truck payment every month, maybe. But I don't know her finances. None of my business, it's my business, it's my finances. Now, I will tell you that, it looks like it's going to be a Democratic year, sorry to say. And I'm just standing back and watching. It's like my father-in-law, Poppy, said last night. We just got to sit back and watch. Now, I know people say, well, if you sit back and watch and you don't report things, then, you're lazy as the mooching Democrats. Not lazy. I only tell it how it is. And that is, I'm going to sit back and watch. Like I said, honestly, that I'm going to register and give my vote. My voting business is my own. I'm not going to have someone try to sway my vote either. My father-in-law said not to bother with it, but I just can't help it. He talks about we need to vote the bastard out. That's his opinion. Well, okay, let's talk about that for a minute. We have to vote, in his opinion, the bastard out. That means that he needs a vote too. If he's not going to vote because he doesn't think his vote will count, even though he's praising the electoral colleges for not punishing people for the, what the popular vote is, then, that would, the Supreme Court said something about that already. I mean, literally, we're in a pandemic, though, right? So, anyways, That's all I can say. I mean, literally, I can't say literally much, because we're at a standstill, okay? It's like Gail said last night on the phone. Unless there's something fucking passed, you know, with the, um, you know, with it and it's signed by the president, people are now realizing and posting comments that are more realistic than anything I've ever seen in the world. And that is um, that the American people are suffering. And it's all talk. And they're all talked out. And they're all videoed out. People are waiting and seeing these stimulus videos. And they're saying the same thing. People are like, this is BS. You're turning around and you're talking about stimulus videos. And yet, you're talking about whatever. It's basically clickbait. You click on my video, I make a living, you watch my crap. I basically tell it as is. Literally, this is all clickbait. These people aren't oracles. They're not. I'm not an oracle, but I will tell you that with 3 business days to go, Nancy Pelosi did say they might have a bill maybe hammered out with the people by the 14th of August when the Senate is in recess, okay? That would mean that the Congress will stay in recess until they're called up to vote. That's how Nancy Pelosi put it. So even if they hammered it out and they send it off to Mitch McConnell's desk to have a vote, Mitch would have to basically, Mitch would have to pass it, Mitch McConnell stated again, he right now he'd pass anything, and I think it's only to get voted in. But it's up to the Democrats and Stephen Mnuchin and Mark Meadows. President's just sitting back, getting impatient. Mitch McConnell, and again, he told his fellow senators to distance himself from the president if they have to win the campaign trail. But they'll, the thing is they're a double-edged sword too. Copy said they'll just go straight back to the president as soon as they get distancing. They're using this as a tactic to get reelected. And the American people are seeing it too. I mean, I'm not into politics. Hello, Gail. I'm not into politics, okay? But unless there's something signed, everyone's holding on to hope, Well, I saw a good comment today. The comment I would award them with the greatest comment of all today when it comes to said that by the time if they send $1,200, it's not going to mean anything to people that lost their house, their apartment, their cars, living in a tent. $1,200 won't mean shit to them. $1,200 doesn't mean shit to many people, and people agreed. Literally, they keep as Cam said, greedy moochers. They just want more and more and more and more money. And so, but Nancy Pelosi said they might have something hammered out by the 14th. Highly unlikely. Well, I've been talking about what's new. So Nancy Pelosi, like I said, stated they might have something hammered out by the 14th. Might. But they're a long way off. They're going down the track. They're inching it by inching it. They don't want a piecemeal bill. They want everything compiled together. And they are basically pushing still for the HEROES Act. Fortunately, I think Mitch McConnell might give in. But even if Mitch McConnell might give in and the White House agrees to the HEROES Act, the problem is, again, is getting the Republicans on board. right now there's not enough Republican backing of the bill. The Democrats in the Senate would vote for it. That's not a problem. The Republicans, most of the Republicans are even against the $1 trillion deficit. They're looking after the Americans, the budget numbers. They don't want to raise the deficit. Unfortunately, this is where it gets tricky because Steven Mnuchin says we can, federal chairman Jerome Powell, I think it was, or the current one, don't quote me on who it is, stated that we can basically float more money, even monthly stimulus checks. The people are hurting until the pandemic's over. Unfortunately, the president's not talking that sticking point, nor is the Republicans. They say when they can get the unemployment down to 5% or 3%, then that's where they want to be, or even let 2%. Unfortunately, like I said, the president's not talking that sticking point. Or Steven Mnuchin or, Mark Meadows. The Democrats, they just said 3.4 trillion. This is what we want. The Republicans, even the ones that against Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham, nothing's going to happen. I mean, literally, Lindsey Graham offered $1,000, not $1,000 stimulus, I think it was, or it was 100% of unemployment benefits being paid during the pandemic. Unfortunately, he just threw that deal out there himself because I think his state he represents, I think North Carolina or South Carolina, is suffering drastically. But, everything hinders on a bill. And having the president say he wants to use executive order to fix the economy, in my opinion, is a bunch of useless malarkey. And I'll tell you why. I might grab a soda, by the way. That is because the American people are suffering. Oh, I agree, Cam. The job market is gone the way of the dodo bird. They know this, but again, Cam, the Republicans, and I will say this. Hi, Boon Boon. How's my little booner, huh? Come here. The Republicans know the job's going away the dodo bird. Oh, I agree. I agree completely. We're going to go into a depression, Poppy said, or we're already there. Honestly, I like the flavor of the Red Bull Cola. I like the mini cans too. Apparently, the American people are suffering. And I think the Republicans, honestly, Cam, has flat outright given up. Plain and simple, they've given up. They've given up completely. Because of, sorry, I said no to the dog. Because of the way the economy is looking, the Federal Chair Reserve said that unless we give stimulus checks monthly to people, it was his opinion, that the economy will tank. But again, President, the Vice President, Speaker of the House, Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell, and the rest aren't agreeing to monthly stimuluses. All they would need to do is take prepaid debit cards like Direct Express and dump money into it. I mean, literally, that's the way I see it. I mean, that they're not even putting that on the table. Now, Vice President Biden, if he chooses Kamala Harris, people are going to vote for Biden due to the fact, again, that Kamala Harris is working with Bernie Sanders. When Bernie Sanders said if he chose pretty much Kamala Harris, that the American people will vote for Biden due to the fact that they want their $2,000 or more a month. They can increase it to $5,000. Hell, they can give $10,000 a month. They could put $1 million a month on cards for everyone, and that would stimulate the economy pretty good. But $1 million a month till the pandemic's over. They can do a digital currency, which would not affect the banks or anything. They can make the secondary stimulus backup payments. I mean, look, other countries are doing stimulus payments and forgivable loans and stuff in other countries. Let's just put it this way. My father-in-law made a statement last night. It's completely true. He said, we're the mightiest nation in the world. If we just gave up our warlike behavior temporarily to fund the American people and their lives, things would get better. He's right. We're paying $20 billion for the Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier. We're paying like 17 to 19 billion for the John F. Kennedy. We're paying like 15 to 17 billion dollars for the USS Enterprise, and we're paying like 13 to 15 billion for another carrier that's being prepared to be the materials are being acquired to build. So we got 4 carriers, more to replace the Nimitz class, which let's talk about the Nimitz class for a minute. Diesel carriers could be scrapped, or put into a museum. Nuclear carriers like the old Enterprise, what started with 8 nuclear reactors on board, and they learned how to cut it down to 4 and then 2. They let's just say they cost between $1 to $3 trillion to decommission and dismantle the reactors, so then they can send the ship off to be scrapped. Costs $1 to $3 trillion to dismantle a nuclear reactor. I mean, if it's costing $1 to $3 billion, not trillion. I corrected myself. Then you can see the math right there. I mean, do we need these gigantic ships? Well, we're the only one in the world with this big enough fleet, okay? Now, I know there's some Navy people out there saying, well, we're here to protect your country. Well, maybe, but the president has an oath to defend the country, and yet, looking over some information that my father-in-law stated last night, we might see Russia march into Germany. That could happen because he wants to pull Germany out. Biden wants to fix Germany again. He wants to pull out of NATO. If any European Union or NATO country gets invaded, we're allies. We'd be going to World War III. Again, doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that, again, it's all a bunch of ball-washing bastards out there. And I'm not talking just Democrats. I'm talking Republicans. They're all a pack of bastards and bitches who don't want to do their duties to the American people. Now, like I said in this video, Mitch McConnell, he knows his bill's dead in the water. He couldn't get it passed if he wanted to. Plain and simple. He's not enough of the voting. And they're always telling people to distance themselves from the president so they can get reelected. The polls, people, the Democrats are voting and already they're registering to vote to basically make this vote count. They want him out. They're tired of him and his foreign policy. They're tired of everything. And yet, all he wants to do is executive orders. Well, go for it. Doesn't matter to me. I mean, literally, our governor did an executive order, However, I've watched videos out there saying, and this is more important besides stimulus checks and unemployment benefits, that there's two things I want to hear from you to tell you guys, all right? And that is, and I'll leave you guys to comment for a minute while I use the restroom in a second. But they say, are we prepared for a probably more likely 2 to 4 month lockdown starting in September? Think about that while you use the bathroom. A lockdown. Are you prepared for it? Do you have enough supplies? They're talking about locking down everything and only having essential workers run the hospitals and the essential workers delivering the supplies. Everyone else essentially locked down. Convenience stores closed down. Gas stations closed down. Grocery stores closed down. Answer me while I'm out, and I'll see what you have to say when I get back. Be right back. All right, everyone. I have a breaking news update. This is actually breaking news. I want to tell you about it. Breaking news just came in, all right, 35 minutes ago. It says, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said 35 minutes ago, Tuesday, that he could support a $600 extension of the unemployment supercharged benefits. But that's if President Trump backs it. He said he could back us to negotiate stimulus ability because in the end the people need it, right? This is what he said. So Nancy Pelosi's hardline, we're standing strong in these values. He's finally crumpling. However, he said, Kentucky Senator and Majority Leader stated, many Republicans would likely not vote for the final stimulus legislation if it is restored this measure. It has been drawing fierce GOP criticism for months. There you go. We know this is going to be negotiated, but he supports $600. You know. Trump, though, does not support renewing the initiative. It's unclear, and his position changes. The fifth economic relief package starts in the second week with few signs of progress. McConnell has not been up to now, but McConnell has basically spoke about it. So, says here that the economy would boost itself if they gave it. President, of course, is citing he wants tax credit cuts yet again over, what's going on. So, 13 minutes ago over the wire, it says Family of Four Act would get $4,000 under the release if it's a new stimulus check, $1,000 per person, so $1,000, and that was there you go. So. And another breaking news is people are so worried about gold. Gold has peaked at $2,000 an ounce. There you go. So, what does this mean exactly? Well, so there you have it. So Mitch McConnell's on board with it, but again, he's using the back door again. The president has to sign off on it. The president doesn't want to sign off on it, or his Republican counterparts. It still falls back to the Republican Party. Rita, a world of 5 to 10 years from now, if we go to a world war, I think someone's arsenal has robots hunting survivors. Oh, it's not the Terminator era, Cam. Sometimes I think you're, no offense, brother, but sometimes I think you're kind of super paranoid, all right? Now, like I said, what's this mean for the American people? Well, the American people are hurting, but again, Mitch McConnell basically said if the president backs it, right? So if President Trump decides to back this unemployment extension, right? He's all for it. Mitch McConnell wants to be reelected, but he basically said realistically his own party is not going to vote for more money to go out. You see, so where does this look? Where does this go out? I'll tell you. It doesn't look pretty. I mean, literally, he's basically saying, yeah, I'm Mitch McConnell, yeah. I truly support the $600 stimulus, but it has to be up to the president to agree with it. I mean, look, if Mitch McConnell, okay, I know there's a lot of people out there, pro-Trumpers, okay, or as Chloe calls them, Trump-tards, okay. We don't know what the election's going to be. We're not oracles, okay. As my father-in-law said, we might have to see, the pro-Trumpers might have to see a defeat of Trump, okay? I mean, look, if Mitch McConnell, my father-in-law texted me saying that Mitch McConnell's trying to save his own seat by saying, I support $600 red line, but they should support the liability. Well, if they can come to that agreement, hammer out a bill. Unfortunately, the problem is, as Mitch McConnell said, well, I support that bill if it's $600 a week. There is negotiating room, but it's all up to the president. The president. Yet, same time, like, but it's all up to my own colleagues, my colleagues in the Senate to vote for it, and they were against it. Does that seem too far-fetched to you that he is now stating that the American people literally is being used again as a weapon? They're weaponizing the American people. They're weaponizing the American people, okay? When I talk stimulus checks, I talk the freaking facts. I don't sit here and curve it. Oh, yeah, the president's going to get $2,400 minimum. Really? I've checked 20 different sites. I've not seen anything legitimate, okay? But it's not saying it's true. I'm still combing through the news feeds this morning, all right? I do enjoy good videos too, by the way, so I will raise my knowledge. But my knowledge is based on the facts, okay? The facts is the president is getting impatient, okay? He's talking executive orders. I'm going to do an executive order, really. Then the Washington Post got a leaked memo, which CNBC, NBC, ABC, PBS, all the news agencies, all the newspapers, including other newspapers, turned around and basically said the same damn thing. The facts are fucking there about the Postal Service being slowed down. He claims he can trim 200 million or 200 billion a year. That's fine and dandy, but or over 10 years or something. Maybe it was 200 billion over 10 years. That's fine and dandy, but the thing is, my postal inspector general, which, or the postal postmaster, that's what they call her. She turned around and she blatantly told me our mail's being delayed because of politics. Literally, politics. They got to work at 7. They got to be done by 8. 7 to 8 in that 13-hour frame. And that's only because they have to process packages. Now, let me put it to you this way, okay? I know there's people out there, like my cousin Dinky or moderator Pee Wee that say, well, did you buy cigarettes?
I found this a while ago.
You sure you want to even use it? It might have coronavirus on it.
This was found a long time ago.
Surprise, you're smoking again. No, you should just go buy a pack.
I'm just finishing this one up.
You should buy a pack.
I'm not smoking. I'm quitting.
Because then you can go get the milk. Or tomorrow. You can go get milk tomorrow.
Today. I'll go to the Merc.
Well, they close in an hour and a half.
Oh, I'm going to smoke this and I'll go to the Merc.
Fine. Anyways, enough about that. Postal Service is being delayed. People say, Trump wouldn't do that. Well, let me put it this way, okay? I'm going to go and play devil's advocate here, okay? I'm going to break down both sides of the Postal Service for the election, okay? Now, I think my cousin Dinky, if she's watching this, is going to love my devil's advocate because it goes like this. One side, the president, so as the media says, paranoid. And he's going to do anything he can to just stop Biden, even if he has to put us all in lockdown, which some people say he's going to put us in a massive lockdown for 3 to 6 months so we can not let the election happen. That's his only key, lockdown. 2 is, if he does a lockdown, everyone has to have mail-in ballots, which he's afraid of. Again, Postal Service gets delayed. Fortunately, the problem here is, for the Postal Service side, they're losing money. And the reason they're losing money is because of Amazon, okay? Now, I'm playing devil's advocate here. Amazon, no offense, I know if Pee Wee was watching this, I think she was watching my other video. She got a little cranky. I don't mean to upset anyone. But Pee Wee would basically state, and I quote, it's Amazon and Bezos that owns the Washington Post. Well, let's just say the Washington Post got the memo. They cut out redacted parts of it. Let's just say hypothetically. And they say it's because of voter fraud, right? Truth of the matter is it could be he redacted part of the fucking message because he doesn't want people to see the truth of the matter is that he's saying it's voter fraud. By the way, Bezos is a fucking Democrat, okay? So if he redacted the part about Amazon's the problem with the Postal Service, because everyone knows who Amazon is, okay? I'm not going to lie. Amazon is fucking the problem, okay? I'm not sugarcoating it. Amazon basically made a deal with FedEx. FedEx said, fuck you, we're not doing this SurePost or whatever they do, a Smart Post, right? A Smart Post. So they canceled their contracts. They said, fuck you, you know. UPS, of course, knows that when Amazon finishes up their trucks and their distribution centers and their delivery methods, UPS will be cut out. And the Postal Service knows this too, but right now the Postal Service has a deal with UPS where everything goes by ground, okay? And once it gets done delivered by ground, it's handed to the post office. The post office does the last leg of the journey. They might get 25 to 50 cents for that delivery. That's it. Yeah, exactly. You know, that's the thing. Exactly. See? Everything I've ordered for food to supplies is on Amazon. It's free shipping. So, you know, that's the thing. But I also have to look for uh, uh, fulfilled by Amazon to get the free shipping. Otherwise, you're going in the marketplace not knowing if your package will ever get delivered. I had a guy at eBay ordered something for, you know, paid expedited shipping. You know, it's something a Pee Wee recommended, bless her heart. And they said delivery is Friday, okay? So I contacted UPS. UPS has got they're backlogged, okay? UPS got to me. They know I'm a customer. When I call, they know. They're like, oh, hey, Rita, what's up? What do you need? So I asked about this package. You know, it's a couple things like electric toothbrush type devices and me and Chloe. And they turned around and said, and I quote, Amazon people are taking their money, making a last ditch effort to buy and suck up toilet paper, paper towels, laundry detergent, dish soap, body wash, shaving cream, you name it. They're being shipping. Amazon is getting so many orders, and Target and Walmart, that because the people are panicked that they won't have supplies to get through, that they're buying now. Meanwhile, they're panic buying. Meanwhile, UPS, FedEx in some ways, are overwhelmed of the problem. They're overwhelmed, right? They can't keep up with the delivery system, you know, literally. And so the American people are suffering. They're suffering. American people are turning around and fucking suffering. I mean, literally. Suffering to no end. So, because of it, look what happened. That's the thing. Look what happened. Because of it, people are panic buying again. Shelves are being bare. Literally. My advocate said she went shopping for an elderly woman today. She couldn't believe she had to go to both grocery stores. She had to go to all the gas stations. She even had to go to the local co-op and the bakery to get everything compiled that the lady wanted because they were sold out. Literally. People are freaking panic buying. I, of course, told her, well, I got the farmers. I mean, literally, I picked up some birthday steaks, mind you. I want to share with you this. Look at this. T-bone. I got like 6 steaks. Paid $110 for 6 steaks. One steak, by the way, the porterhouse. I want to share with you the porterhouse, actually, for my birthday dinner. I know the Pinky's watching and she's going to say, oh my God, that's huge. This steak, there's a beef porterhouse Wagyu right there. Look at that fucking monster. 3-pounder right here. 3 fucking pounds. Happy birthday to me. That's my dinner. That's that with lobster. 2 lobster jumbo tails. I got surf and shark for dinner. That's it. That's dinner. That is my dinner. Okay. Plain and simple. People, oh, well, you know, you're living like a queen. Well, I prepared properly. Unfortunately, the real problem isn't about preparing properly. It's about budgeting your money. And frankly, my advocate said not to order a thing for the next 2 weeks, you know. You mean drones? I don't know. The drones are a different story, but they're still testing it. Fortunately, the problem is the drone has a short distance ratio. So, for example, for here, you'd have to have a truck go on the ferry, deliver it off the ferry, deliver it to our warehouses, and they'd have to keep the warehouses filled with everything that people, Amazon would assume they would buy. Say, for example, 16 rolls or 16 rolls of Bounty, okay? The Bounty paper towels, right? Then they'd have to load this little drone up with, say, a box or two and fly it over to your house, right? But if you're downstairs in the basement, they can't get the drone downstairs to deliver it to you. And so, again, it's more dangerous going downstairs. So they'd have to have the drone delivered to a drop-off point and then have a FedEx guy or, a delivery guy deliver it the rest of the way downstairs, So that's how it works. But, again, like I said, when it comes to unemployment, okay? Unemployment, if Mitch McConnell is basically saying he supports it, it's because he, A, wants to be reelected. He should retire. And B, he's saying, again, he's using the president as a scapegoat. And that's where I draw the line. They don't use the president for a scapegoat by stating, I'll support it if the president supports it. The problem is you can't support something, all right? And then he uses the scapegoat again that the American people, right there, to backdoor his other problem is the Republicans won't support it. Really, that's interesting to know. The Repubs won't support it. Hey, Chloe, your butt's dirty. You have some dirt on it. Just look in the mirror. Not that it matters what she does. But yeah. Yeah, well, I agree completely with your statement. I love, all of you, and you got to prepare. That's the way it is. You must prepare. This is the time to prepare. It's not plan about things. Look, let me tell you the other problem we're having in this country, okay? And I'm going to be freaking blunt with you, okay? It's August, okay? Next month is the starting of fall, okay? They're talking that the second wave of the coronavirus hit. They're talking that the death toll is spiking. Unfortunately, if the death toll is now plateauing, I will check the numbers. If the death toll is plateauing, so far today, by numbers I'm checking, we're almost topped 5 million cases, and we've just topped 160,000. They say by December 31st, we will top approximately 300,000. They said by October. They said that by my birthday, it would have topped at least 130,000. By my birthday. My birthday is in 5 days, okay? You do the math. They said by my birthday, and Chloe even read this to me, 130,000 dead by my birthday. Remember that?
Yeah.
Right now, Chloe, 160,000 dead, and it ain't my birthday. Literally. And the same by December 31st, we'll have over 300,000 dead. Current death toll right now, Chloe, as of today, almost 1,400 people. 154,000. So the cases have spiked again. So it's rising yet again by the numbers that I'm looking at. So if you do the math, do we need another lockdown? Maybe, but the president said he won't do it. Even the Fed chairman and former Fed chairmen and former Treasury secretaries and so forth said, and I quote, if you don't put this country in lockdown to save the economy, there's nothing left to save. That's true. You need a full down lockdown. It took 2+ years to contain, 2.5 to 3 years to contain the Spanish flu pandemic. People did what they had to. Here, Again, they're not thinking
They
about it.
don't want to listen. They want to go out and do their thing.
Look, Jay Inslee, our governor, may be a douchebag, okay, but even though I have respect for him, he's shut down any bars, any places that has food. So, for example, 5 family members could sit and eat, right? One of our oldest taverns shut down again. Another place shut down again, too, due to the fact that they only won't allow families in.
You know what it is? Is that back then you didn't have these big corporations, monopolizing everything back then. These days you do, and they're demanding to reopen by a cure or not.
Well, yeah.
They don't care.
Thank you. Point is the American people, we live on an island. There's no big corporations. They won't even fucking put a Walmart on this island, okay? Or a Safeway, or a Fred Meyer, all right? Hypothetically, they won't. But if they decide to do a fucking full-on lockdown and only leave the essential workers, let me put it this way, the essential workers of other essential jobs, quote unquote. This is coming from me, okay? I should run for president. Maybe there's a way that Gail could contact CNN and tell them that I would be the perfect contender for both parties that do come out and be independent. So if any of you guys got any ideas, contact CNN, NBC, CBS, and get my videos out there to show how much I care. That would be appreciative. Now, that was a joke, by the way. But truthfully, essential workers, okay, what is a classification of essential worker? Well, that's your plumber that has to go to work. That's your electrician. That's your roofer. That's your convenience store worker, your gas station worker, your grocery store worker, your hospital worker, your automotive repair guy worker, and your marine engine repairman, which means boat engines or yacht engines. So if you cut out all the essentials that's not needed and confine someone for 60 days or more in quarantine, even 90 days, to bring down the thing and put in eviction moratoriums in place while you bring down the virus, it could work. People are basically, the real problem is again, President Trump said liberate Minnesota, liberate other places. People have guns. Problem is my opinion is he should basically not do this. He should basically say, look, my advisor said shutting down the government is good for the country. Hell, it might even do it so he can get reelected by doing it. But if he doesn't do it, right, what happens? And I'm not suggesting he should lock down us during election time. No. I'm just saying they could be mail-in ballots. Unfortunately, postal workers are essential due to the fact of the law. Amazon factory workers are essential. Walmart Target officials, all these companies are essential. You can cut your corners and still run your business. Just might be a little slower. Yes, Gail. China got swine flu. They also have the bubonic plague, or AKA Black Death. So to me, just leave it alone. Let China have it. But it'll get out somehow, and unless we have a cure for this type of strain of swine flu, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Okay, swine flu back then was, they had cures for it. They had inoculations for it, or a treatment for it. This virus, there is no treatment. So, like I said, the American people, back to my original thinking, okay? I don't want to get sidetracked. Ugh, my tum-tum's hurting for once. It's probably that soda I had. Yeah, I didn't take dinner yet, so, Hey, Chloe. It's almost 6, so if you wanted to go, you should go. Otherwise, do it tomorrow.
I'll do it tomorrow. I already went out today. It's just walking up that hills of yacht.
So let me put it this way, okay? We're in a pandemic. We're severely in a pandemic. Ugh.
How are you on milk right now?
I can make powdered milk, but I need to make sure the water's... I got beer, too. Anyways, I'm trying to...
Milk before you drink beer. Drink milk.
Yeah, well, I got powdered milk I gotta make, but I need to make sure the sink's clear, too. I'm gonna do dishes and talk to you guys for a second.
You want me to do dishes?
I got it. Don't worry about it.
I can go out there and do it.
Huh?
Do your video, I'll do them.
No, I can do both things at once. It just means I need the sink clear. My stomach's hurting severely tonight. Hopefully that I didn't get a resurgence of that virus or another strain of it. That would royally suck. But the American people need to realize that they need to prepare for the worst. That's the problem. The problem is the American people are literally hurting. There's too many people out there. There's too many people out there, American people out there, suffering to no end. And there's no way to get through it. That's the problem. The American people are suffering to no end. You need to prepare because you might want to see the president win. The only way he could is probably by lockdown, and that's probably really the bad problem right there, all right? Fortunately, the lockdown might need to be essential, so even if it screws up a presidential election, it's the only thing I can think of that will save our country from falling down the rabbit hole when it comes to the pandemic. Now, people sit there and say, oh, but why? And it's like simple. The American people are suffering. I mean, I love all of you. I keep telling you this. Prepare for the worst. Don't stand back and wait till it's too late. The American people deserve much more. Fortunately, there's a lot of people out there that are really waiting before they decide to cast their vote to see who President or Vice President Biden's person is. He's got like 8 women. They're publishing all over that Kamala Harris is the top contender. They're not talking about Susan Rice. They're not talking about Stacey Abrams. I mean, literally, Stacey Abrams, if I remember correctly, got unseated as a governor of her state. So technically, I wouldn't want to be a one-term governor or whatever. I mean, thing is all these people are flocking to be the vice presidential nomination for Biden. Hell, I'd be a good choice for Biden. I'm for the American people. The American people are suffering. The American people are hurting. And yet none of these people, no one cares. That's what I think is really my real reason, sometimes that I haven't been 3 days without a video is because no one cares. Literally. I've been zoned out playing a video game, worrying about a few small problems I have for myself. Like I said, no one cares. No one plans to care. And because of it,
What time is it?
well, it's almost 6. I gotta figure out what you want for dinner.
I'll take care of it.
Well, okay, then I just make my own dinner then?
Well, if you want to take my dinner, you can pull something out.
I don't know what you want. That's the thing.
Whatever you pull up, I'll eat it.
I'm giving you a choice.
Well, my choice is just pull something out.
Well, what do you are in the mood for?
Anything. Whatever you give me.
I'd have to defrost steaks and meats right now. And ground lamb. And you still have lamb liver to eat. And lamb tongue.
Looking forward for a bowling cubes to come in if they ever do.
They're supposed to be in on Wednesday or Thursday. Supposed to be here today, but they changed the delivery date. They're too backlogged packages. The only other idea I can tell you is I can either do a steak or not steak. I wouldn't recommend steak tonight, though.
Okay. I'll take a something.
Well, I have mac and cheese or I have steak.
Do you have mac and cheese?
Oh, there you go.
You're eating mac and cheese. I'll figure something out.
I'll defrost the steak for tomorrow then. Actually, maybe I'll wait on the steak. Sorry everyone debating dinner. I'm sorry, don't have any Spam, Dinky. Otherwise, I would eat Spam. I do have the mac and cheese, though. I have about 160 boxes of 160 boxes of this stored away. So, various flavors. This is cheddar Havarti. One of my favorite. I think this person named Corey basically got me into Cracker Barrel. Another thing I'll plan to cook soon again is this. This is really good. It's like macaroni and cheese with hamburger in it. This is really good. This is the bomb. I got like 60 boxes of that and plenty of hamburger. I don't know what I wanted. You can always have chips and salsa for dinner.
Yeah.
You got plenty of salsa. Well, I'm sorry. Spam's hard to acquire right now in this pandemic, sis. I don't think so, Cam, but Dinky, no, Mop, you're not getting a treat. You went after Ebony, you little monster. You're a savage little beast. Hear that, Dinky?
He's a little monster.
He is. He tried to eat my bunny, and then he knocked over my Google device today.
We were taking the bunny out of the cage, just jumped up and
He had his mouth all acts on like this. He was jumping like this with his mouth. I moved my hand like this so higher so the bunny wouldn't get eaten. Poor little Boon Boon, aren't you, little Boon Boon? We gotta feed him eventually.
Bobby, why do you want to eat the bunny?
I think the seeds are very scary, Dinky. I've seen a video on that recently. It's like I said, it is it's scary. I mean, literally, it's scary to see these seeds, And I highly say if you get seeds in the mail, toss them in the garbage can. I mean, literally. I mean, it makes you feel China's really against the American people, and they're doing anything they can, including these weird seeds, And like I said about spam, okay, trying to get spam is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. So and that is why it's hard. That's why we get what we get. I mean, hell, my. Well, yeah, it is. It's scary and freaky at the same time. It gives me the new meaning of what in the world what the hell is going on in the world,
Yeah, remind him he's grounded. He's a grounded dog.
Yeah, and he knocked over my Google device, and because of it, it fell on the floor. So again, he's being added.
I miss being in a building with air conditioning.
Enjoy your dinner. Don't get coronavirus.
Who's that?
Dinky. She's going to her neighbors for dinner.
Oh, yeah, well, everyone's gonna get it eventually.
Don't say that. I already got it, remember?
I know, but the elections might be canceled because of it.
I don't think they'll cancel the elections. They'll figure something out. So, does anyone have any other comments or concerns? Because I'll be here a few more minutes, and then I'm going to go offline to do my game for the night. Because I've spent enough time, talking about it.
Good little mutt dog. He tried to eat the bunny. Mutt dogs don't go after boom booms. That was a bad little mutt dog. Or Shih Tzu dog. Most Shih Tzus don't like to hunt as much. But you, Moppy, you hunt. Is it true Shih Tzus will hunt?
Yes.
Oh, great.
In packs. Love you too, sis.
So, if Shih Tzus were in a wild, they'd hunt in packs.
Yeah. Moppy would be the pack leader of the Mapupu tribe. She's looking at me funny. Here he goes, Chloe. Again, you're not getting anything, Moocher. So, does anyone have anything to say?
Oh, little dog. Here. Got this. There. Chew on that. Oh, you just toss it out. They want buffalo liver right now. I want a moisty. I want a porterhouse moisty right now.
No. No, you're not.
I'll call Pia and get a new one.
You get your kibble. No, you get kibble. You're not going to play my game. You're not working.
You're not working, Wealthy. You're grounded.
I'm gonna get the equipment, I think, Cam, and do video playthroughs for games.
Just like go to the gas station, get your milk, and come back.
You don't have to go today.
I am to get over with because I want to go out tomorrow.
All right, then I'll be here then.
I'm gonna stay in most of the week. Do we have to do anything else the rest of the week?
No.
All the other bills can be paid online, right?
All the bills are paid online. Okay. The only other bill I'm going to wait for is the electric bill.
I eventually might have to take our trip to storage shed because the lock was too big. So I'm going to have to get our lock at Ace one these days.
Yeah.
A smaller one. Could do that tomorrow, actually. I'll just do it tomorrow.
Sure.
And get her milk at the Mercantile.
Sure.
Would you be okay with 2.5 gallons at Mercantile?
You mean there's 2-gallon jugs? Plastic jugs?
They have half-gallon ones at Mercantile.
Well, you thought the gallon jugs at the Mercantile, too, was a different brand. You bought 2 of these ones right here, but it was a different brand, remember?
What? Mercantile only had the half-gallons.
That's funny. Then what store was it we got the different brand at?
We got the only place I see whole gallons is the little store.
Well, what about the little store uses Dairy Gold. The problem is there was a brand that you had that was a gallon once, and I said, "Where'd you get this brand?" He said, "Oh, it's Mercantile."
Okay, must have. What time do they open tomorrow?
7 a.m.
Might go early. What time is Ace open?
I don't know. Hey, Google, what time is Ace Hardware open?
Ace Hardware Friday Harbor at 340 Argyle Avenue is open today from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., but you might want to check with them.
8 a.m.
Yeah. Sorry. I do like my doodad device once in a while. Well, thanks, Cam. I don't mind a like. So, anyways, did you leave, Cam? So, like I said, let's talk about the other problem with the pandemic, okay? And besides the lockdowns, all right? Besides Mitch McConnell, like I said, let me reiterate, saying he's for any
I didn't say anything.
any and all packages that will pass the Democrats, but he used the scapegoat. It's up to the president to sign it. Then he uses backup scapegoat that the president himself, or not the president, the Senate itself, Senate Republicans and Senate Democrats, Senate Democrats would vote for. We know that if it's $600 thing, but House Congress, the House, voting for the American people when it comes to the American people. All right. The Republicans in the Congress is screwed up. And that's where I'm worried about the American people the most. The American people are suffering to no end, all right? It's not just about race here. This is about humanity, and they're suffering to no end. Literally. And we, as a whole, need to come together for this pandemic. We don't need to basically be rebels and rebels saying we're not going to stay indoors. If the states start shutting down everything again and leaving only the true essential workers, then what happens, huh? Literally, then what happens? The American people, I'm sorry to say, they've been through enough. Democrat or Republican, they've been through enough. This is the worst pandemic in over 100 years, and people are still freaking suffering. Look at baseball. The Mets closed down. Yeah, I know. I bet Cam's eyes went big. I'm a Phillies fan myself, but I haven't checked on baseball. With the shorter games, now. The big problem is that people are worried about, okay? There's 4 big key things. 1, monthly benefits. They're worried about it. They demand it. They're waiting for Senator Kamala Harris to be nominated on the ticket to get the payments. Then they'll vote. Otherwise, if Joe Biden chooses Stacey Abrams, the only reason why is he would choose a female and African Americans for the African voters, which they would all gobble it up. Kind of simple. Susan Rice, she should have just stayed in retirement. And then the others. Kamala Harris, put her in. It's more likely a 95% projection they'll have the White House because of her deal with $2,000 plus a month. Then, fortunately, Kamala Harris has not said anything yet about defunding law enforcement. She was law enforcement. I personally say, whatever floats your boat, love, do it. I don't care. Now, as I said, stimulus money is number 1 to pay the bills. Because the eviction moratorium's done, people are being turned off their electricity. Their electricity is being completely and thoroughly turned off. Hey, Mark, what's up? So their electricity is being turned off. That's the second thing they're worried about. They want electricity subsidies to help them because people lost their jobs. Their jobs went away the dodo bird. And secondly is these people, Republican or Democrat, knows they worked hard. Their lives are being played with. They should at least have some entitlement to money. But remember what I said. These people here, the demanding, greedy ones, that if they don't get what they want, they'll turn to a Democrat and vote. Now, what if they don't like Biden's pick for VP, huh? Are they going to vote him in anyways, get rid of Trump? We don't know. That's why I say I don't play politics here. Third is, Some people are losing their water bill and their garbage delivery because of the pandemic. They can't pay the bills. I mean, literally, that's the main thing. And then final nail in the coffin is it's August. It's August. Check something on my phone real quick. We're talking to you. 91 days left until the election. 91 days. What's new? You always report to that Play Store. So I just put this on my calendar. Christmas. All right. Every day gets closer to Christmas, and every day people are worried about Christmas. All right. Let's see. We've been in a pandemic for 6 months. Next month will be 7 months with no end in sight, and people are worried about Christmas. This is the year that you just be blessed you have your family around you. Don't think about gifts. I mean, if the government decides to go into lockdown mode again, that hurts everyone. It's no end. Not really. I had a stomach ache earlier, so I hope it went away. Probably that cola I drank. But no, the point is the American people are suffering, and they're worried about their living spaces. The American people are suffering to no end, and it's scary. Yeah, I was wearing a mask, but the thing is you can catch it in a hotel where I was at, and you can catch it at a grocery store. Um, it can get on your clothes. You can also catch it while sit down, have a beer at a restaurant or a brewery or a brew house or you know those areas. I mean, I went to a lot of restaurants and a lot of places with my cousin Twigster, Dink, and Corey, and I could have got it there. But I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is the American people right now, Mark. They're hurting. And yet no one in their right mind is getting anything done. And it sickens me. Businesses are failing. People can't make ends meet. Mm-hmm. Says there McConnell and Schumer is not even negotiating. Again, they're basically saying that everything went sour because McConnell is not, you know. So he's saying he needs the president to deliver the pen. Mm-hmm. Schumer responded later, accused McConnell of getting partisan speeches while congressional Democrats and White House were trying to cut a deal. So they're trying to cut a deal, and he's basically saying it ain't gonna happen. So they want to, So, yep, it's the same. Schumer, everyone's not working together for the American people. So it says here, after multiple weeks of talks with Meadows and Mnuchin, McConnell rolled out a $1 trillion meant to serve as an opening Republican offer. Through a number of his GOP colleagues criticized the proposal, and they don't think the president would sign it. Some of McConnell's own colleagues are worried that they're leading the talks, Mnuchin and Meadows. Mm-hmm. So basically, they're basically playing chicken with everyone's lives, is what it's saying. So there you have it. No stimulus checks. Not going to happen. Probably get a. Chloe is in another room. So, but anyways, thing is, everyone, I've been on this video long enough. I got a lot to think about, and until Friday, or until there's something new on the table, I can only give my opinion that people are hurting. Yet, this ain't about politics. This is about the lives of the American people. So, there you have it. So many people worried about Christmas. So many people worried about the future. Where is the future? How's it going to hold up? No one knows. So that's all I can say. Not a lot of people are commenting, so I'll give it a couple more minutes and then I'm out of here. My game's calling me for the next 12 hours. I'm curious about that link I sent myself. It's going to take 55 sheets of paper. Thanks. I hope so too. Like I said, I got gaming to do. So, since comments are petered out, please add and subscribe. Please post comments. Please leave feedback, suggestions. Hit the like, subscribe button. Hold funding for your family, including your dogs, cats, your bunnies, service dogs. Hit the bell notification with new content every day. Thank you for watching, and God bless you in everything you do.